me keep up with the professional life while also doing something else. Yeah, so work experience is crucial, right? Especially when work experience makes you confront a large variety of cases. It can really help you, like, really stimulate your growth in that sense. Your growth can be exponential because of that exposure, right? So how do we stimulate that sort of experience even without having a job? So tip number one, next slide, please. So tip number one is to cultivate a professional circle. So that means making and maintaining friends who currently work in the industry and perhaps the role that you're currently interested in. If you've just left a job, for example, you could try maintaining relationships with your ex-colleagues, or you could make new friends, you know, like Twitter, different communities, and make sure that you have like a circle of people in that profession, right? And then make sure that you engage them, you know, ask questions about what their work is like, what issues they've had, what challenging stuff have they done recently. You know, also try and ask, like, you know, why didn't they do it this way? You know, that sort of engagement really helps to like keep you sharp and keep you, while also developing your interpersonal skills, which is always important on a job. Yeah, so tip number two is, next slide, please. Tip number two is contribute to open source. This could be phrased as volunteer as well, like depending on the industry you're in, right? So volunteering or contributing to open source helps keep your skills sharp by giving you stuff to work on, and while also being able to serve as a sort of resume, even while you weren't like in a formal job. I found that keeping it professional, even while you do stuff like this, really helps, especially in terms of keeping you in the mindset of working. Yeah, so tip number three, next slide, please. Learn a new skill. So while you're at a job, it's a bit difficult to learn new skills or to deepen the ones you already have, especially if they don't relate to your day-to-day. But having an unemployed period is a good time to learn a new skill. I would advise like keeping it guided. So maybe get a book or pay for a course, or, you know, something along those lines. Tip number four, next slide, please. Write about what you've learned. In communicating what you've learned, you'll gain more mastery over the subject. There's something that says that you haven't really learned something until you can explain it to someone else, right? So if you write about what you've learned, you'll be able to communicate to people who may benefit from your mental models, as well as also like helping with social proof that you know what you're doing. In summary, so next slide, please. No, in summary, so the summary of this whole thing is to learn in public. It's showing off what you've learned or how you're learning it, and it helps put you in a good position for when you're ready to jump back into the workforce and for like new opportunities as well. That's the end of my talk. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it.
That was amazing, man. That was like 3 minutes. Thank you so much. Sweet. So if you have any questions, the Slido is here. Just ignore this person. If you have any questions, Slido is here. Go to slido.com, and like the room code is R845. So just like throw any questions you have up there, and at the end of the session, we would like ask the speakers the questions, right? So next talk is by Nneka, and she's going to be talking about how to nail your product messaging so that customers get it. So Nneka, you have 5 minutes. I have to restart the timer. You have 5 minutes on the clock. Light it up.
Okay. Hi guys.
Sorry.
Can I go?
You can go. Yeah, I can go.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Nneka, and I am a product marketer. So I chose this topic particularly because a lot of tech companies are very notorious for placing their product at the center of the story, or at the center of the entire narrative, which falls short because then a lot of new users or potential customers are not able to see how the product solves their problem. Next slide. So the truth is, your product is in the equation. Your product is in the user is a constant, right? They're always going to be in the equation, but your product can be substituted with a competitor's product. So when you realize that there's always going to be a solution for the way customers solve their problems, if your product fails to communicate how they're solving that user's problem, then you're going to be substituted for the competition. And you'd find that a lot of tech companies, when you come on this is in the context of their website now, product messaging in the context of their website. When you come on their website, there's a lot of talk about, okay, how you have all these features, how your product is so great and how you just release the new updates. And here I am thinking, as somebody who has a problem, I'm thinking, okay, I'm trying to be able to send money to my brother who is in London, and I don't have a solution for that. And you're telling me, okay, this is fast and this is this and this is that, and I don't see the narrative is not crafted in a way where I'm able to see myself in that narrative and understand really and truly how this is going to solve my problem. Because here I'm thinking, okay, what can this product do for me? That is not really communicated well enough. I'm thinking, okay, how can this product get me to the desired outcome for sending money to be able to send money to my brother in London is so that he can buy himself a birthday present. And that is my desired outcome. And all of those things are not addressed, which is then leaves me thinking, okay, this is not really a solution that is going to solve my, or this is not really a product that's going to solve my problem. And then I fall off your website and I go searching for another solution. Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, so your product needs to answer the user's questions. It needs to tell their story. It needs to answer their concerns. And when you think of the problem that a user has, right, you might think if you're not speaking to them frequently, and this is not, okay, you speak to one user 30 minutes or 30 minutes once a week. This is keeping a pulse on what this problem is, because they are the ones, if I have a pair of shoes that are super tight, I know where that shoe is pinching me. I know what part of my toes feel the effect of those tight shoes. For you as the potential solution provider, you think that the solution is just to build a bigger shoe. Well, that might not necessarily be the case, because maybe you need to get longer shoelaces and thereby I'm able to loosen up the shoe. There's so many ways to go about it, but the point is, product people, founders, they need to keep a better pulse on how the user talks about their problem, because this then, especially for your best fit customers who have found your solution to be relevant to them, this then helps you to get more of those best fit customers by using the language that they use to describe your product. Next slide, please. So the point is, customers know they want. Users know what they want, and people tend to think, oh, they don't know what they want, don't ask them. That is a lie. They know the problem that they have. They know the intricacies of that problem, and it's up to you to sort of figure out how best to get them to their desired outcome, get them the solution that they need based on this problem that they have explained that they have. So just as a way to not make this very vague, I did a case study on rewriting PiggyVest homepage, and in the spirit of talking about desired outcomes, their former headline was the better way to save and invest. And as a new user, I'm thinking, okay, what was the previous way and how do you know that this way is going to be better? And I'm thinking, okay, if this was communicated in a way that I am able to see what this new solution does better than my current solution, I'm more inclined to buy into that solution. So when you say take control of your finances, this goes beyond just saving or just investing. It means that by taking control of my finances, I'm able to plan for the future and maybe have an emergency fund, go on vacation with my friends. And when you say by being able to take control of your finances, what PiggyVest does, it helps you be consistent with your savings, right? And make your money work for you by investing in verified opportunities. That tells me how this solution has been positioned in my narrative to get me to this point where I'm able to take control of my finances. So that's just a very brief summary of what I mean when I say that your product messaging needs to be clear and as specific as possible, where the user sees themselves in the narrative that you're trying to craft, so they're able to buy into the solution that you're selling. That's it.
Sorry, I'll try and unmute myself. Thank you. It's like exactly on time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nika. Again, if you have questions on the slides, okay, people are already asking questions. Amazing. So yeah, third talk by Mustafa Rufai, and he's going to be talking about how to set up a website in 5 minutes. So the floor is yours. Light it up.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Rufai Mustafa. I am a software engineer and technical trainer. So in the next few minutes, I'll be telling you a story about how I set up a website for two of my friends and how you can set up yours too. So recently, two of my friends chatted me up, and one was a business expert. She sells men wears, and the other one has a wedding in about a month in August or so. And so the person with the menswear business, she wants an online store. She wants an online store where she can collect payments. People can check out her inventory and buy her products, and she doesn't need to have to chase anybody around for marketing and stuff like that. The second person wanted a website where she can tell people about her ceremony, the wedding she's organizing. She wanted people to be able to send her cash gifts if they want to. She wanted people to be able to get links to watch the event online via Zoom. There's Corona outside, so you cannot attend the event. So I provided a solution to both of them, and I thought, okay, a lot more people could benefit from this. So in the next few sessions, that is what I would like to talk about. So let's go, next slide. So in the next slide, this talk is about anybody. So if you are a creative, if you are somebody who is trying to set up a business online, if you have an event that you run or you are trying to organize people and invite people to, this talk will be beneficial to you. So yeah, next slide. So what am I saying? We have platforms online where you can set up your payment collection process. Example is the recently launched Paystack Commerce and Flutterwave store. So both of these guys, what they allow you to do is, irrespective of the kind of payment you want to receive online or wherever you want to receive your payment, you are able to collect that kind of payment on your phone. You get an alert immediately. So for the person that wants to set up an e-commerce store, what I did was I set up a Paystack Commerce page for the person and generated a Paystack link for the person, right? So the person then downloaded an Android app on her phone that's used to track payments for whatever inventory that anybody has purchased from. So that was the first one I did. And then, so that same Paystack Commerce and payment link works for the person that wants to set up the ceremony and collect cash gifts too. So with Paystack and Flutterwave or any other payment platforms that is online, you can set up a very simple way for you to collect money. The other part, the other section of the project is you setting up that inventory or setting up that list of items that you have on your web page. So what I did was, for the person that wanted to set up the e-commerce website, I used a tool called Disha Pages. So Disha Pages is a web page, single page website where you can have your own portfolio and everything will be there. So you can have all your images, videos, you can have links to your profile, so to Instagram and also all that stuff. So I set up that for her and linked it to Paystack and Flutterwave. So what happened there is that once you see a link to a product, you see a shoe that you like, or you see a necklace that you like, you click on the image and then it takes you from Disha Pages to Paystack Commerce, right? So basically, in that place, I've just in a matter of using an online tool, and in this sense, both tools require you to don't have coding experience, right? So you can just set it up without having any prior coding experience, right? So I was planning this talk to have a demo section where I could just show you how this works, but maybe on a later date, if we come together, we'll do it. But basically, let's slide, please. Yeah. So in the next slide, what I'm trying to say now is that with those tools, you can use Webflow, you can use Scrappy, you can use Disha Pages, and a host of other tools. List your inventories, list your items, list whatever you want to list there. Link those pages with the unique links that will be generated for you by Paystack. Thank you very much. We will talk later.
I like how you had a timer there. Thank you so much for keeping to time. Yeah, I think that's the end, actually.
Yeah, that's the end.
Thank you.
Let's talk later. Yeah, I will share the link to talk.
Yeah, and his Twitter is AIAFUR, so you can just like reach out to him and then he'd help you out. Thank you so much, Rufai. I really appreciate it. If you have questions on Slido, please. Slido.com, room number R845, right? Ooh, the timer just went off on my end. Sweet. So next we have Akachi. Akachi, are you here?
Hi, yes.
Okay, amazing. So Kachi is going to be talking about happiness and sadness, the commercialization of happiness and why sadness is equally important. Kachi, you have 5 minutes on the clock. Light it up.
Okay, let me set in my timer real quick. Hi, everyone. My name is Kachi. I'm a designer and illustrator. I'm going to quickly tell you about why sadness is important. So I have a feeling that I might take more than 5 minutes just in case. I'm just so sorry because I get excited about this topic a lot. Okay, let's start. Next slide. Yeah, so I feel like there's an happiness agenda. So every time you hear people say things like, "Oh, just be happy, do what makes you happy, smile, don't worry, be happy," things like that. Oh my God. Yes, so next slide. Yeah, so you have like government, different surveys, adverts, pop culture. There's this song by this guy, what's his name? Pharrell. Yes, there's this song, entire song of happiness. So like there's a lot of, oh my God, be happy. And there's this agenda. And I remember like adverts when I was younger of this there's a little girl, no, a woman bathing with lock soap, and then she was smiling in the shower. Who does that? Nobody literally goes when having their bath. Anyways, next slide. It's a scam. I'm not saying that you should dwell in sadness, but like don't just start thinking that your happiness will come from all these products or from all these things. There's something people say like, if you've never experienced sadness, you cannot appreciate happiness. I think it's a reach, but I get the idea. The idea is that you would value something more if you've had like a tough time. So I guess. The next slide. Sadness is not the bad guy. So I feel like people just tend to believe that, oh, sadness is this emotion that you must avoid. When you're sad, you want to distract yourself immediately. Oh, something bad happened to you. Like instead of facing what is really happening to you, your next action is to avoid it and just act like, okay, I'm going to get better. That kind of thing. When we avoid it. Next slide. Yes, sadness is important. Why? Sadness reminds us that we are human. Whenever you're sad, like it's an opportunity for you to learn about yourself. It makes you better and helps you to be less judgmental. Of course, I hate to say this, right? Because you have the experience, you'll be able to be sort of more empathetic. But like, not that you start saying that, oh, not like when someone says, I'm suffering, me too, I'm suffering, though, I know how it feels. Not like that, boy. The idea is that you have an understanding of the next person. Next slide. Okay, so what do we do with sadness, right? You have to make space for it, acknowledge it, write out how you feel, right? Talk to yourself or try to understand what exactly is happening to you at this point in time. Be kind to yourself. Just like you won't tell your friend after that, get up, my friend. It's not just falling down. Get stand up. I can say you have to be nice to yourself and then tell people around you what you need. Okay, so I need space, I need a hug, things like that. So you communicate clearly what you need and do not wallow in sadness. Silence. Next slide. Yes, happiness and sadness are fleeting. Just as happiness, sadness is just as well. It's the same. Like they don't last. They are both emotions that come and go. So like, don't dwell on it. Next slide. Happiness is not the opposite of sadness, and this is a real I'm ready to die on. This is a real I'm ready to die on, actually. So like people think that happiness and sadness are opposite, but it's not true. Like these emotions can coexist. Like you can be sad about maybe your job or something, but you're happy that maybe it didn't rain today. That kind of thing. So like in a day, right, you have different reasons to be both happy and sad. Okay, next slide. Yeah, finally, you might not be happy every day, but there's always one thing about each, there's always one thing to be happy for each day, that kind of thing. So why you might not be happy like that, but there must be something in that day, right, that would cheer you up and change the entire activity of the day. Next slide. Yeah, it is a sad day, a sad event, and not necessarily a sad life. So stop obsessing over happiness. I think that's all. Yeah, I finished. Less than 5 minutes. Thank
Yo,
you.
you're just like breezing through it. Thank you so much, Kachi. It's a really, really interesting talk. I was so excited when I saw the topic. I'm really happy you delivered well. So yeah, any questions you have, slido.com, R845. R845 as the room number. Oh, I think it's just going off now. But yeah, so the next talk 5, we're so on time today. I'm so excited. The next talk is by Nife.
I'll be the one to mess it up.
Nife is going to be talking about automation, toilet automation, right? So Nife, you have 5 minutes. So
Okay, yeah,
the
let's
first
be quick. All right, so my name is Nife Oluyemi. I'm a DevOps engineer and IBM Watson Financial, and I live in Toronto. Next slide. And so I'm going to be talking on toil automation and everything in between. And actually, I got interested in the topic of toil when I learned about it from Google's site reliability engineering. So next. Yeah, we're going to be talking about everything in between because that would take 45 minutes and that we wouldn't allow. So next. So I'll talk about password rotation. So this is Nife, and then next. He's having a good day, and all of a sudden he receives a PagerDuty notification from hell to change root password that is about to expire. So what he does is that next, he SSH into the server, and then next. He runs a script. When he SSH into the server, he changes the password, and he runs a script to reset the password check, and then next. And then he stores the new password in Vault. So this process is easy, it's simple, it looks pretty easy, but next. What happens when Nife has to do it on a couple of servers? So that can take a lot of his time. So really, what is toil? So toil is a kind of work that is predictive, is manual, requires hands-on human intervention, and it's repetitive. And this is a definition from Google SRE, Site Reliability Engineering team. So next. So toil is actually not overhead. So we may think of toil as something like we don't like, or is work that we don't like to do. So toil is not emails, it's not meetings, it's not HR paperwork. It's not buying granite for your boss. So toil, some examples of toil would be kind of like SSH into a server, doing patching the server, restarting the server, anything that has to you have to go into a production service to do. Next slide. So how do you recognize toil? What are some characteristics of toil? So toil is manual. It's that means you need a human doing it. It's automatable. A machine can do it. It's repetitive. Occurs frequently. No enduring value. The value you get from doing toil is you get it right now. It's not over the long term. There is no value. It's tactical. Something like PagerDuty notifications. You have to act on it right now. And it scales linearly. So if you have the amount of time you have to do the work, if the work increases, the time also increases. So next slide. So what I did for the password rotation, so I don't have to, you don't require Nife to be there anymore, is that I realized that PagerDuty is integrated with ServiceNow, and then next, so we do a ServiceNow integration with Jenkins that triggers a Jenkins build. It gives the host name of the machine and the user ID of the password we want to change, and those are taken as build parameters, and then next. Yeah, and Jenkins triggers a job, which is an Ansible script that updates the server with the password. So all this has removed Nife from the equation. I don't need to respond to that PagerDuty notification anymore, and then it has added to my time. So next. So some disadvantages of toil could be, next. It's low morale. So you have to, it can cause boredom, burnout, and discontent when you have to keep doing it all the time. It's boring work. You don't want to do it, and you can lose confidence in your team. It creates confusion. That's when there are too many manual processes. I know some of us have been in teams whereby there are too many moving parts. All the knowledge is stored in someone's brain. All the tasks are manual and stuff. So it creates confusion within the team. Next. It sets precedent. So if you like toil, we'll give you toil to do. We'll give you a lot of work. And then career stagnation. When you waste time on all these redundant, repetitive tasks, you don't spend time learning new things. So next. Next, yeah. So toil is not always bad. So when can toil be good? I mean, if you have a new teammate on the team, or you have like an early professional hire, well, yeah, my time is up, and it occurs rarely. So my you can go next, yeah. So my let's stop this time. Sorry, my take home for everyone here today is that like problems are all around us. If you look within your team, look at all those bottlenecks, like how can you solve those problems for your team and push your work forward and spend less time on toil. Next. So thank you. Yep.
Thank you, Nife.
Yeah.
So if you notice, I was laughing a lot when Nife said PagerDuty, because like that's the company I work for, and so Nife and I have this very weird relationship because of that. So yeah, it's a love-hate relationship, but it's there. So thank you so much, Nife. This is really interesting stuff.
No
I know my team would definitely be interested in this. So yeah, sweet. So if you have any questions, Slido, room number R845, and just shoot your questions up there. And I think the next person we have is Teju. Teju, are you here?
Yes,
Sweet.
I am.
Sweet.
Hi, everyone.
Sweet. So you have 5 minutes, and yeah, light it up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Teju, and I'm a product manager at Bitcoins. I'm going to be talking about why you should care about Bitcoin. Next slide, please. Okay, so Bitcoin refers to one of two things. So it can be either the cryptocurrency itself or the Bitcoin blockchain. And a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin is just a digital currency whose transactions are secured by cryptography. And cryptography is, I guess in short, like coding things so that nobody else can see, like what is in it. And the blockchain is a large spreadsheet that contains every single Bitcoin transaction that has ever existed. So with fiat currencies like dollars or like Naira, we need a bank or a middleman or interbank settlers to make sure that when somebody sends money, it actually goes there. What happened with that for Bitcoin is the blockchain. Next slide, please. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to start with what is wrong with money today. And a good place to talk about that from is asking if you really own your money. So if you have 100K in your bank account, there are a lot of different things that are happening. So the first is money system, the way it works now is centralized. So it's like your government decides what you can do with your money, where you can send it to, who you can send it to. If you're somewhere like North Korea and they say you can't send it anywhere, guy, all your 100K is just like, it's just there. You don't exactly own it. Another thing is borders. So the way money is today is money is very localized. So if you have Naira, you can't spend it in Ghana, you can't spend it in the US. I mean, there are global currencies like the USD, but there's still limits because it's fixed to a particular border. And something else is money requires a lot of middlemen to ensure that it actually gets sent from one place to the other. And that causes transactions to be pretty expensive, especially when you have a large, large transactions to send. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by all the giveaway comments. And something else is that money at the moment is very inflationary. So if your government decides that they want to print money to fund war, your 100K can become 50K. And like all the things you could do with 100, I mean, if we're in Nigeria, like you know what it means for your money to just lose value overnight because the government has decided to do something interesting. Next slide, please. Okay, so yeah, why Bitcoin? So Bitcoin is pretty much, I guess, the opposite of every single thing that I've explained on the other end. It's money that truly belongs to you. So first is decentralized, right? There's no single point of failure. Nobody sits down and says, we're just going to crash the going to crash the value of Bitcoin today, or we're just going to print more Bitcoin. Like, you can't do that. Another thing is it's borderless. So I can be here in Nigeria and spend it anywhere in the world. I can spend Bitcoin in Japan, I can spend Bitcoin in Ghana. The other day I had to send money to someone in Ghana, and the fastest way I could think about to do it was to send them Bitcoin. You have total control over your money, like I said before. I mean, you can spend your money on anything. There are no transaction limits. If you want to spend 1 billion naira in one day, no government can come and hold your hand. It's also very inclusive because you don't need a lot of KYC to actually hold Bitcoin. And something that's really interesting is that Bitcoin is also deflationary. So if you know economics, you know that whenever the supply of something increases, but the demand isn't increasing at the same time, the value goes down. And that's not what happens with Bitcoin because the supply is relatively fixed. You can only have 21 million Bitcoins like ever. And so it's just programmed in such a way that the supply is fixed and the value will just keep rising. Next slide, please. Okay, so what can you use Bitcoin for? You can use it for remittance, like I explained earlier, and Cash is a good example. This is a shameless plug. Another thing you can use it for is humanitarian aid and human freedom. Because there are no restrictions to how Bitcoin can be used, people who are like previously excluded from the financial sector can easily access money and financial products. Something else is decentralized finance. So one thing that you can do with Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency actually is invest, save, get insured from anywhere in the world. So at the moment, if you had to, sorry, that says finance, it should say finance. But at the moment, if you had to, invest in an opportunity that's in the Gambia, for instance, I can ask anybody here, like, how would you do that at the moment? And there's literally no specific way. But then with cryptocurrencies, you can access opportunities from anywhere in the world. If the exchange rates in Nigeria are known to you, you can get opportunities from anywhere else in the world. There's also investments. So over time, the value of Bitcoin as an asset has been rising. I mean, it has gone up and down, but like in the long term, from 2008 till now, it has just gone all the way up. So a lot of people, including me, hold Bitcoin. Like I buy Bitcoin from time to time, I just hold it, knowing that, we'll just moon and one day I'll cash out or not. But like, yeah, that's definitely something. And one of my favorite examples of humanitarian aid for Bitcoin is this woman who owns a company in the Middle East, and all of her employees are women. And because there are a lot of issues with owning money and the patriarchy and things like that, she started paying them in Bitcoin so that their family members wouldn't seize their money. And so whenever any of them had to like escape a tough situation or whatever, they didn't have to go through the existing financial services sector. Nobody could trace what they were doing with their money. And yeah, I found that pretty interesting. Next slide. I think I'm done. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so of course, buy Bitcoin on Bitcoin. That's the easiest place for you to buy Bitcoin on. And then the second link is a free course that we have that you can take. There's Little Bitcoin Book and all of these really interesting places that you can just get resources about Bitcoin from. That's all.
Thank you so much, Teju. So we're here and we're really expecting giveaway. Me, I'm expecting giveaway. So please help me and help us. God will help you in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you so much, Teju. So questions. You have any questions, Slido? We have 2 talks left. So the next talk is going to be by Latte, and Latte is going to be talking about how to make better images. Are you here?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Amazing. All right, so you have 5 minutes. Light it up.
Okay. So today's talk is on how to make better images. I can also take because people feel you're taking images. Next slide. So if Ansel Adams says you don't take a great photograph, you make it. So the truth about pictures is people say, oh, I can't take great pictures. My camera is not, I don't have 4 cameras, or I'm not using the Canon 677 million D. The truth is that even with a Techno, I don't know what the hell that phone is, you can make a great image. It's not about the equipment. Now, next slide. I want to teach you what your greatest equipment is. Your greatest equipment is free. It is your eyes. It is what you can see. So it's not about, like I said earlier, it's not about the phone or the camera. If you want to make better images, ones that really stand out, you need to stop looking and start seeing. Now, this seems like some deep, focus, something, but the truth is that the best photos you see you're like, what kind of perspective is this? Like the image I put in the slide, you can see that is, I'm sure we've seen all those kind of Twitter images where someone takes a matchbox and a toy car and something funny like that. They just mix it up and then they give one mad image. The truth is that it's not about the phone or what they're using. It's about them using their eyes, which is their greatest equipment. Next slide. Okay, so now there are three components of a great image. Of course, there's good images, there's bad images, but great images is just three things. Number one, moment. Number two, lighting. Number three, composition. Now, of course, lighting is, of course, light, backlight, front light. And then there's composition. There are some rules in photography. We won't really go into that. But today I want to talk about moment. Now, the truth is that if you don't get lighting right and you don't get composition right, I swear to God, if you get moment, if you can capture a moment, even if it's blurred, you'll be forgiven. It is still a great image. So now let's move to the next slide. So now, composition, about composition, there's like leading lines and framing and stuff like that. I'm not really going to go into that. Let's just go to the next. So, okay, yes, I can see people in the comment section saying, talking about like their eyes being greater. So the truth is that the best photographers, what they have done over time is they have trained their eyes. If you look at Kabeni's page, Moborio's page, Tolani Ali, Pete Souza, Obama's photographer, over time, even people like Annie Roberts, like after practicing and practicing, like both of you can stay in the same place, take photos, but theirs will be totally different because the way they see that scene, the way they see that where they are is different. So now there was a picture by Ademola Olaniro, that's the photographer to Sonwolu at the Polo Club, of a horse that was about to run into, they were having a polo tournament and the horse was about to run into a policeman. Now the truth is about capturing great moments is that you must be able to anticipate. So when something is happening, you need to always be alert. You need to always be sharp. So if you are anticipating, so for instance, where you see someone running into something, you know that at some point, like this person is going to get here. So you just position yourself at that place, that moment, that point where that stuff is going to happen. So, like I said earlier, I said it's better to capture a right moment perfectly than a wrong moment. Now, the truth is, with our phones, I want to give two tips. So, the first tip for getting a great photo with your phone is make sure that your phone is always on eye level with whatever you are taking pictures of. So, if you are taking pictures of your dog, bend down. If you are taking pictures of a child, bend down. Make sure that so a lot of people make this mistake where they are taking pictures of a short person and they are doing their phone from up down. It makes the image distorted. So make sure that whatever you are taking pictures of, either you are on the same level, you can even go lower. So some people do like put their phone on the road and now take a picture, now point their camera up, and it just gives you dramatic effect. The truth is that if you that's why I see some photographers, they are lying down on the floor. Oh, my time is up. Anyway, ultimately, if you can capture a great moment, even if you don't understand composition, I don't understand lighting, you will have a great image. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Latte. Really appreciate it. I mean, that's the last slide. You did really well. Thank you so much. Yeah, questions again. If you have more questions, more people are asking. Teju, I hope you're ready, because they're ready for you, man. Okay, so the final presentation is by Ebby, and Ebby is going to be talking about learning to love yourself. So Ebby, you have 5 minutes on the clock. Lights, it's up.
Hello, everyone. Hi, good evening. My name is Ebby Ahibe, and I'm really excited to be here. Today, I'm talking about learning to love yourself. So recently, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was asking him about his self-love journey and, how he came to love himself. And he was like, I don't hate myself, but I don't think I'm in love with myself. And the truth is that he's not the only one. So many of us are in that place where we're not really crazy about ourselves. Like, I just date sha, but it's not like I'm madly in love with myself. And I found out that as we grow and have experiences, sometimes we let ourselves down. Sometimes things happen that make us search outside for validation and for love. But the truth is, like Whitney Houston said, the greatest love of all is learning to love yourself. And you might be wondering, how do you know? You might feel like you love yourself, but there are things that help you identify how much you love yourself or how little you love yourself, like how you speak to yourself, internal dialogue, like how you spend your time, how you take care of yourself or fail to take care of yourself, the kind of people you let into your life, you know, things like that. These are things that help you to discover how much you love yourself and all. We always talk about love languages and love languages, but have we really sat down to think about how we express love to ourselves using our love languages? So there's gifts, I'm sure that gift one is easy because people like shop a lot and they think they're giving themselves gifts. There's acts of service, there's quality time, there's words of affirmation. Identify your love languages and shower it on yourself. So if you like words of affirmation, keep telling yourself that you're amazing. Write out sticky notes, put it in different places. You know, it's so interesting to like stumble on a note that says, you're badass. Yeah, so if that's your love language, go on and shower yourself with love. If acts of service is your love language, go ahead. And quality time is really important. There's so much depth in solitude and self-isolation. Not due to Corona, but trying to know yourself and trying to find out more about yourself. So spend time with yourself. Like many people hate their own company. They're always looking for someone to hang out with, cool people to hang out with. But you never know how cool you are until you spend time with yourself. Go on an adventure with yourself. Discover who you are. You know, we're always looking for the love of our life, But let me tell you, the love of your life is you. Because you're the only one you spend your whole life with, like from when you're born to when you die. Man, you're the love of your life. Try to spice up that your self-love relationship and get to know yourself. And some of the ways that you can increase and love yourself more is focus on yourself, take care of your body, be mindful of your inner voice, drop toxic people. Self-care is really important. I know I don't have much time, but I really wanted to hinge on self-care. Like, how do you care for yourself? How do you care for your body? What are you eating? What are you spending your time on? I know many people don't have hobbies anymore, but I think it's really cool to find a hobby that you do just for yourself. I don't say my hobby is making money. I know money is good, man, but really find a hobby that helps you to express your creativity, helps you to get to know yourself. It could be anything, gardening, knitting, photography, anything you want. You can do that. And also how you invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. It doesn't have to be things. It could be your finances, buy stocks, different things like that. Basically, that's it. Date yourself, send yourself love letters. There's so many things that you can do to spice up your love relationship. Like, how many minutes do I have left?
You have about a minute plus, like a minute, 30 seconds.
Okay, basically. So I don't have enough time to talk about this, but I'm starting a 5-day email series on learning to love yourself, whereby I'll share tips on how you can love yourself and you can ask me questions and all. I'll drop the link in the comment section on how to sign up to the link. Thank you.
Thank you so
yam
much.
as much as you want.
That's me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. You guys, like all the speakers were amazing. Like you guys are just like the bomb. Thank you so much, everyone. So we're gonna go and check out the questions. I think Nneka, you have a fan or a lover here. Someone loves reading your articles. So yeah, thanks for writing your articles. Tejo, somebody wants Bitcoin giveaway. Me, I want Bitcoin giveaway. Please F my life. Okay, so another person asked thoughts on the effect of Bitcoin price fluctuations in 2017 and the Bitcoin investment narrative on the feasibility of Bitcoin as a standard, as a trading standard. Do you understand this question? Because I don't get it.
Yeah, I think, or at least I can make sense of it. They're talking about the price. So there was like a huge price fluctuation in 2017, and I don't know that I have like any particular thoughts on how it affected, I guess, people in Nigeria or anything like that. I mean, of course, people started to see Bitcoin as more volatile. Like a lot of people who were like, Bitcoin is the asset to buy. I had like a lot of classmates at the time who were very interested in buying Bitcoin and all of that. And then there was like a huge crash. And I'm guessing it also reduced like the trust people have like entirely like in the system, and people were thinking it was like MMM or something. I still have like family members that are like, that Bitcoin that people are doing, don't buy it though, they will take your money away. So yes, there's that. And Bitcoin, feasibility of Bitcoin as a trading standard. Yeah, I definitely think that we will get there, but it will take quite a long time because, like I mentioned during the talk, governments are not exactly like incentivized to promote it or anything like that. So it's going to definitely take a long time. But the more like people build products that people can use with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, the more adoption will grow, and then like hopefully over time we'll see more of that, I guess. Am I supposed to answer the other one? This question is for Ted.
Let's wait for, we'll follow the order. I think we still have time.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, thanks for answering that question. I mean, I don't get it, but I appreciate it. I appreciate that you're here to help us answer that question. So Excelsa, this question is for you. So how does one stay relevant in an industry that keeps shifting its boundaries?
For me, I think the answer is to, well, keep up with the changes, right? So one way to do that is to follow people who like industry leaders, for example. So on whatever medium you're comfortable with, whether that's Twitter or subscribing to their newsletters, and to like sort of make sure that you keep up with whatever is happening. I guess that's my answer.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, sweet. So I think Ineka already dropped the link to her articles on the chat, so you can just scroll up and find it, or if she wants to be nice and drop it again, we really appreciate that. So yeah, so somebody just said toil. Like, thank you very much, I guess. So the next question is for Teju. I feel like most of the questions are for Teju. So how is supply fixed if individuals can mine Bitcoin? Teju, can you please help with that?
Yeah. Okay. So supply is fixed in, I guess, like at the end of the day, like we can only have 21 million Bitcoins, but then not all the Bitcoins that can be mined have been mined. So at the moment, there are like 18.2 million Bitcoins that have been mined. And there's like over time, the more people mine, the way it is that it's sort of, I'm thinking of how to explain it properly. Okay, so there's something called halving, where every 4 years, the amount of new Bitcoins that are produced when people mine Bitcoin is halved, right? So every 4 years, that amount is reduced. It used to be 12.5, and then this year there was a halving, so it's 6.25. So it's like over time, get harding point. So it's just like the system is rigged for it to be difficult for the supply of Bitcoins to be increased. But then at the end of all of this, we'll have 21 million Bitcoins. And when we get to that point, no further mining will be possible.
Amazing. And then there's another question again. Supply is fixed, value just keeps rising. How does that work?
Okay. What I think they're asking is, well, okay, what I explained before was that with anything that's like an asset or anything that's valuable, if the supply is fixed and people keep demanding it, the value or the price of it will rise. I don't know if that makes sense, but like that's what I try to explain. That if the supply of something is small and the demand is a lot, the value or the price of it will just automatically go up because more people are demanding it and people are willing to pay more and more for it. I hope that makes sense. Dami does not.
I believe it makes sense.
Does that make sense?
I believe it makes sense to the person that asked. See, I don't know anything about Bitcoin, and whenever everybody talking about it, I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. But I don't get it. So I think it's also another question for you, Teju. We just have to break out and just do it like a Bitcoin session.
Yes.
Is it possible to receive 1 million naira or above with send cash?
So at the moment the limit is $1,000, but we're increasing this to $2,000 soon. But if you need to do more, you can just open a Bitcoins account and do it through Bitcoins.
Amazing. Can you buy yam for me? Yes, please. I'm very open to yam. My yam supply is low, so yes, please. I don't have so many tabs open. All these tabs are for the talks, you guys. She said tabs for like each of the slides. My God, you guys. Teju, is it possible to track or retrieve the Bitcoin exchanged in the scam on Tuesday?
It's not very possible to retrieve it, to be very honest. Like that's just the gag with Bitcoin. Like it's not like you can go to the blockchain and say, please send the money back for scamming me. Like if it's gone, it's gone. I mean, if it was for an exchange, if the wallet addresses were for an exchange, they might maybe be able to freeze it. Like they might be able to do something, but for most parts, like it's 99% like unlikely that. Yeah, it's voicemail pretty much. One chance, like 99% chance that they're not getting their money back.
Amazing. That's good to know. That's very comforting. Oh, well, I missed the other question. And I think I remember the question.
I got the question.
Yeah, okay. Just can you answer the question? I think it was about toxic people and if you're a toxic person.
Yeah. Okay, so the question was that I talk about dropping toxic people and what if you're the toxic person? The truth is, you need to have a conversation with yourself and find out, okay, so what are your toxic traits? You can list them out and then start with trying to eliminate them one after the other, and look at the people that you love and identify what you love about these people. And think about your ideal self. If you were going to be madly in love with yourself, what are the traits that you think you want to have? And look towards cultivating these habits. You can also speak to somebody like a counselor or somebody to help you walk through this process. Sometimes experiences might have, altered our original nature. So you can just speak to someone, go through the process, go through the traits that you find are toxic in you and walk towards eliminating them. You're an amazing person, by the way.
Thank you. It. I'll take it. I'll take that. Thank you so much, Abby. Thanks for the compliment. Okay, I think we only have time for one or two more questions. Teju, are you guys at back? You guys?
Yeah. At the moment, so we're focused on cryptocurrency, blockchain technology.
Okay, interesting. Yes. All right, that's a very short answer. If I speak at next month, I talk about just leave yourself. Just get out of this chat of this thingy. Whoever typed that. Kachi, how did you think about the commercialization of happiness? It was such an interesting topic.
Hi. It's something I always think about. So I think the first recent played happy this what's his name? Yeah, Pharrell, his song, and I was really upset because the way they were screaming happy, 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 happy. I got really tired of it. It's something I always think about. So it's just something at the back of my head. I've literally always thought about this since 2019. So
amazing. I really think you should write an article on that. I really love to read it. Just by the side. Pretty interesting stuff. Teju, when you do give away, Teju, just give people what they want, Teju. You can't be acting like this. You can't be. That's false, child. We won't blow. If you're an Arsenal fan, if you're interested in the idea of Christian sadness, you should come Arsenal fan. You guys are just horrible. That's just horrible. But yes, with that, we've come to the end of this session. Thank you guys so much. I don't want us to go over 1 o'clock. That'd be 6 p.m. your time. Thank you guys so much for coming out, for listening to people talk. We're gonna be having this talk every month. So usually around this time every month, maybe the 17th, 16th, 19th of every month, on third Fridays, I think, of the month. So if you're interested in giving a talk, the link will be up on Twitter and somewhere else. I should have posted the link here, but I forgot again. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for to everyone that spoke. I really, really appreciate you just taking time out to create the slides and to just come and share your knowledge with us. Really appreciate it. And with that, I think we've come to the end of July's lightning talk, you guys. Whoa. Man, we're making this thing an actual thing. I really love it so much. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See you in August. Yeah, see you in August. Yo.